Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're at in the world today, November 1st, Saturday. Happy November. Hope everyone had a fun, safe, memorable Halloween. We are live. My Mortgage Hound. What a week it's been. Got a lot to go over today, but we're going to take it easy today. It's going to be fun, relaxing, low stress. And I'm going to take as long as I possibly can because when I'm done with this, I'm supposed to go clean out the garage. My least favorite thing to do is clean out the garage. And today is the day. Once every 10 to 15 years, I guess, you should probably clean out your garage. All right. Well, how's everyone's Halloween? Any good stories? I thought it was going to be spooky this week with interest rates. I had a feeling the Fed was going to obviously cut 0.25% and then say something that the markets didn't want to hear. And they did. Not a foregone conclusion. Does not install confidence in the markets. We like foregone conclusions. The markets like knowing where the Fed fund rate's going to be and what the Fed policy is going to be 60, 90 days out. But the good news is it had little to zero impact on rates. And it did have impact on rates. Rates hit a 3-year low. And on, I believe it was Wednesday, we compared a listing if purchased today versus purchased this time last year. And it was like almost $300 a month less expensive in a payment year over year. So then interest rates ticked up a little bit. I think FHA went from 5.89 to 6.05. Very, very small jump. And then finished the week down from there. So, we're going to dive into interest rates. In fact, let's do it. Let's just dive into interest rates. National average. So, Mortgage News Daily is my go-to website for all things interest rate related. National average into the week at 6.28 on conforming loans. And look at this. For the first time in a couple months, jumbo loans are priced slightly higher than conforming loans. A jumbo loan being a loan amount that does not meet Fannie or Freddie requirements of being under $818,000. I think this is a good thing. For the last couple of months, we saw jumbo rates lower than conforming rates, which is wild in 21 years. I don't think I've ever seen that, at least not for an extended amount of time. And then our government loans, 6.01 on FHA. We've been playing with that 6% threshold. We've broken a few times, including this week. So all in all, pretty stable considering that any rate cut in December is not a foregone conclusion, which I think is what I named today's live stream, not a foregone conclusion. VA 6.03. Really easy to digest articles on Mortgage News Daily. They're not a sponsor. They should be. They're just a website I frequent. And this kind of goes in a little more detail about what I talked about, what the mortgage interest rate market did over the week. Yep. I think we're going to stay right here and continue the trend to slowly improve as we go into next year. Some interesting comments in some of the videos this week. And I get whenever the Fed does cut or raise interest rates, my phone starts ringing with people thinking that the Fed lowered mortgage rates 0.25%, and that's not the way it works. They control the Fed fund rate, and the mortgage bond market reacts depending on how they like it. And that's really what drives mortgage rates from a 10,000-foot view. And they don't like things like maybes or will sees or not a foregone conclusion. Good morning, Steelhead. All right, let's look at some market statistics. I got the Halloween music on. Does everyone like the Halloween music? Is it too loud, not loud enough? Did you guys like my intro of the dog handing out candy AI? I thought it was pretty good. I stayed up really late last night, so it's the best I could come up with early this morning. Okay. Every week, Gavin Huckins over at Berkshire Hathaway sends over it's quiet but completely fine. Well, you know what? It's Halloween. It's Saturday. Let's have some fun. Let's turn the music up a little bit. Every week, Gavin Huckins over at Berkshire Hathaway sends over our market statistics. I really appreciate he does this every week without having to be reminded. New listings, 157. That's down 2%. Pending sales, homes that went into contract last week, 166. That's down 9%. But we still sold more homes than we put on the market. And I can tell you, every day I go on Zillow and I look for homes to put on my YouTube channel. And I filter them and sort them by newest. And this week it was hard to find cool houses. There just wasn't a lot to choose from. Now it is end of October. We're going into a slower season, but I can feel these numbers. And if you're out home shopping, I'm sure you feel them too. And then listings that were pending that had closed, 141, that's down 6%. Every time a real estate agent opens a lockbox on a home, that data is collected, and that's what we're looking at here. For the state of Washington, down 1.6% week over week at 2701 doors open. In Oregon, down 2.1%, 18,000 doors opened. Yeah, nothing shocking here. This is a good, I don't know, it's kind of a lag measure, kind of a lead measure of how the market is behaving. All right. You guys ready for house number one? I've got three homes. They're all completely different. We're going to start out going luxury. 3816 Edwidge Drive, Vancouver, 98661, 3 beds, 4 baths, 4,107 square feet on a third of an acre, built in 2006. This home is listed by Myra. I've known Myra a very long time. See what Myra has to say. Perched high in the Vancouver Heights, this timeless modern home captures the best of Northwest living. From the moment you walk in, the views take your breath away. Stretching across the Columbia River to the sparkling lights of Portland, the open kitchen and living space flows effortlessly, filled with natural light that pours through walls of windows and dramatic ceilings. Every detail has been thoughtfully designed, from the elegant staircase with its sleek built-in bar to the mid-century modern touches that give this home its character. The owner's suite feels like a retreat. Home is turnkey and move-in ready. Immaculate, stylish, unforgettable. Not a lot of details in that well-written description. All right, to me, when I look at this house, to me this looks like a house in a Hitchcock movie. In a good way, right? In like that 60s, mid-century modern, but there's something kind of eerie. Maybe it's because it's on a hill, but I like it. Cool garage, kind of hidden down below the house. There's your views. I'll show you where this home is at on the map in just a minute. Beautiful floors. Now, we've been looking at a lot of homes in this $1 million to $1.5 million price range. And I'm slowly getting used to like a normal Lennar looking, D.R. Horton looking house being $1 million. But when I think of a house of $1 million or up, this is what I want to see when I walk in, right? Beautiful hardwood floors, unique. This room says this home is over $1 million. What a cool, great room. Beautiful staircase. And just tons of character. Like, is this a tile floor that's curved into kind of a sunken living room? What a wall of windows. That is beautiful. Super tall ceilings with recessed lighting. But yeah, look at that view out there. And it looks like, yeah, there's very cool pattern of floor to ceiling windows, literally floor to ceiling windows. Goes all the way down into the kitchen and then across. So you got 3 banks of these really cool patterned windows. Powder room. Love how the vanity matches the wallpaper in its shape. Okay, here's our kitchen, dining area. I don't think this house is going to last very long. And I think it's well priced at $1.5 million, to be honest. With that view and the quality and the uniqueness. Love the floor, those huge tiles. Look how big those tiles are. Gas range. Okay, so upstairs, here's the bar they were talking about. I don't know, I don't know if that's a piece of furniture or if it's built in. It's hard to tell. Okay, hold on a second. Is there no door on this primary suite? Cool wallpaper. Looks like we have a slider going out to a deck off of, I'm assuming this is the primary. Here's our primary bath. Crazy colors. Single vanity. Interesting. This is the same bathroom, right? So it looks like a toilet in here in this loft room, bonus room. still upstairs in another bonus room. Myra really needs to put the floor plan option on this so we can see where in the house we are at. On Zillow, there's that floor plan option where there's dots that shows you where you're at in the house. Okay, here's another bedroom. This bedroom is very large, with stairs going directly into the bedroom. Is this a thing where none of the bedrooms have doors? What's going on here? That looks like an exposed steel beam. Pretty cool. You don't see steel beams exposed very often. That's pretty neat. Some built-ins. Okay, so maybe this is the primary. Still a single sink vanity. Crazy floor. Is that carpet? It looks like carpet in the bathroom. Is someone on drugs? What's going on here? In a good way. I like this. It's very, very unique. Look at the walls, these tiles. Okay, so here's bedroom number 3. Again, huge exposed beam. Beautiful windows, this huge bullet window here. Cork floors. You think those are cork floors in here in that bathroom? You know what? These 2 rooms are Jack and Jill's. I think these are Jack and Jill's. Because you go from this bedroom into the bathroom into another bedroom. So Jack and Jill looks like adult Jack and Jill. Bedrooms upstairs. Very cool. Again, brick texture on the wall here. I think this could be one of those super expensive vacation rentals. But I think that you could charge a lot of money for something like this. Airbnb. Okay, so this must be bedroom number 4. Okay, back deck, multi-level, covered deck here. There's a UFO in the background. Okay, so this is our 3rd living space. Dealing with 4,100 square feet. This almost looks like maybe part of the garage. It is. It is the garage. Very cool. So they converted the garage into a living space. I don't think that's included in the 4,000 square feet if I were to guess. All right, couple things here. Descriptions are worth 1,000 words. Because pictures on Zillow give you so many questions, and those descriptions should ask. I mean, it was a pretty description, but things like garage converted to living space, not included in the 4,000 square foot. The bedrooms don't have doors. There's a Jack and Jill. The flooring in the bathroom that looks like carpet's actually cork. Who designed this house? Who is the architect? I would love to see those things in the description if I'm being ultra critical. All right. I'm going to keep the financing option simple on this. $1,525,215. Is that right? What a weird purchase price. The purchase price matches the house. $1,525,215. Is that like a subliminal message? How did they come up with that purchase price? It's so wild. If we were to put 20, I think we did 20% down. Let me look. On this one, yes. If we did 20% down, that makes our loan amount $1,220,172. Interest rate, according to Mortgage News Daily, national average on jumbo loans 6.30. Let's get a breakdown of our payment here. Principal and interest, $7,552 a month. Property taxes, $766, which isn't that bad. Let's go back here and look at the map really quick. So you're in the Heights. If this house was down here, it would be $3.5 million. Off of Mill Plain in the Heights area here. So property tax is not bad at all at $766. Homeowners insurance somewhere around $100 a month. I would imagine even a home like this, maybe a little bit more, for a total payment of $8,418 a month, with $318,000 out of pocket. Now, this price point is not for everybody. An $8,500 payment is not for everybody, but there is a lesson that everybody can take away from this. For every $10,000 financed or in purchase price, you can expect it to impact your payment roughly $60 a month. So if you are looking at a home and you're looking at one of these analysis and you're like, well, I could do 40% down, or I could do $100,000 more than that. I actually have $418,000. What is that going to do to my payment? So for rough calculations, you could say for $100,000, that's going to impact my payment by about $60 a month if I put $100,000 more. Now, on that note, if you guys ever want one of these custom breakdowns for you, either on a refinance or a dream home, or you're starting to think about, or you're actively shopping and seeing homes, we can build one of these out for you. You can reach out to me. All my contact info is in the description. Good morning, Nathan. How are you? You've been on my mind this week. Nathan, Nathan, did you see the house I just did? Or are you just joining us? So you missed one of the coolest houses we've had on here if you did. Okay. If you're on your computer or your phone, Nathan, go to 3816 Edgewood Drive. One of the wildest houses. In fact, this is another house I could see Nathan living in. By the way, 2 weeks ago, we found a house almost as cool as this one, downtown Vancouver, that I said was a Nathan house. And Uva was on, and we both said this house isn't going to last. It sold that day. I think this one's going to sell fast too. So if you ever want one of these quotes for you for whatever scenario you're in, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to put one together custom for you. Okay, going from super cool to opportunity. Okay, investment opportunity. I've been seeing more and more duplexes hit the market. I don't know what the reason for that is, but I'm seeing more and more hit the market. We're going to 1123 Northwest Ash Street in Camas, 98607, 6 beds, 4 baths, 2556 duplex, built 1972. Now, for those of you just joining, I mentioned this earlier, but when we look at our market statistics, I can feel it, not only in my day-to-day business, but also in every morning I log on to Zillow and I list the new listings from newest to oldest, and I go through and I look at every house that hits the market. And it's been tough to find cool houses. This one jumped out at me because I think that there's an opportunity that a lot of first-time home buyers don't know exists. And as a first-time home buyer, you can buy a duplex as an owner-occupied FHA loan. This is the only time you can use owner-occupied financing to buy an investment property. You can buy a duplex, owner-occupied, live in one side and rent the other side out as a first-time home buyer. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer, but you could. Steelhead with Details Home Inspections has been doing more multifamily as well, so I'm not the only one that's noticing these hit the market. And I have clients that are looking for duplexes right now, so this will be something we keep an eye on. Okay, 6-bed, 4-bath, 2,500 square feet, built in 1972. This home is listed by Jacqueline. She says, this duplex offers a wonderful opportunity for both investors and owner occupants. I don't read these descriptions before the stream. Currently, one side is owner occupied while the other unit is tenant occupied. Providing instant rental income, each unit features a private entrance, comfortable living space, and a large garage with laundry and storage. Enjoy a spacious yard, off-street parking, and a location that just can't be beat. Just minutes from downtown campus, Crown Park, local shops, restaurants, top-rated campus schools. Live in one side and let the other help pay the mortgage. Or add this versatile property to your investment portfolio. Duplexes in this area are rarely available. Don't miss your chance to own in one of the Southwest Washington's most desirable communities. Please do not disturb tenants. Okay. Curb appeal's fine. That's not what drew me to this house. It is the opportunity to own an investment property and finance it as an owner-occupied. But these interior pictures look really good. So you come in the front door, up the stairs to the entry, and then you have what appears to be hardwood floors. They could be laminate, hard to tell. That would have been a great thing to put in the description for all my real estate agents out there. Now I'm going to say it's laminate, but it's hard to tell. Looks like fresh paint. 8-foot ceilings, if I had to guess. It's going to drive me nuts. I can't tell if those are hardwoods or laminate. Steelhead says laminate. Baseboard heating. Nice kitchen. I wonder if we're going to get to see pictures of the occupied unit. Cabinets to the ceiling, tile backsplash to the cabinets. Nice bathroom. Bedroom number 1. Violet, you're turning violet, Violet. So I think these are 3-bedroom units. Here's bed number 3. I sense a theme with the colors here. Is this the utility room? Concrete floor. This must be the primary. It's a very big bed for a little room. Backyard. Cool rental. Okay, we don't get to see the other unit. it would be nice to have some pictures of the other unit, especially if you're thinking about renting it out. But we don't get them. Okay. So we're going to look at financing this as an owner-occupied, and then I'm going to show you a very cool way to finance it as an investor. Okay. Purchase price $699. We're going to use FHA. FHA is not a program for first-time home buyers, but it is meant to promote home ownership. It's easier to qualify for, lower credit score requirements, low down payment requirements. 3.5% is what we would put down here, are making our loan amount $687,013. Interest rate on FHA 6.01. Now, for those of you who missed the intro, we got down to 5.89 this week. There's a good chance we can get back down there, but FHA is kind of always our benchmark on this channel for interest rate. So we're 6.01. If we look at a payment breakdown, property taxes $409, homeowners insurance $100 a month, mortgage insurance on FHA you have for the life of the loan. There's two forms of mortgage insurance. This is the first at $307 a month for a total payment of $49.39. So if I can rent one unit out for $2,500 a month, I don't know if that's feasible. Maybe more, maybe less. 3-bedroom. Was that 2,000 square feet? How big is the total square footage? Is 2,500 square feet. So what does that make them? About 1,300 square feet a piece if they're identical, which it looks like they are. Okay, so this is how I would do it. If I was buying this to live in and rent half out, I would use FHA. And then I would add my favorite loan feature right now, which is a temporary 2-1 buy down, and I'm going to ask the sellers to pay for it when you should be able to get away with that in this market. So in year one, because I've added on that temporary 2-1 buy down loan option, my interest rate is reduced by 2% the first year, bringing it down to 4%, and my payment down to $4,100. Saving me $840 a month for the first 12 payments. That is a significant amount of money for the first year. And then in the second year, your interest rate is reduced by 1%, 2-1 temporary buy down, bringing your interest rate to 5%, saving you $431 a month for the second year. So during those first 2 years, you get the house rented. There's already a tenant in it now, and you have some breathing room to get used to being a landlord and having a large mortgage at $4,000, $4,100. But it gives you some runway to get used to it. And hopefully, refinancing is never guaranteed, but the consensus. Let me rephrase that. Refinancing is not a foregone conclusion. For those market nerds out there, they'll know what that means. But the consensus is interest rates should be improving over the next 2 to 3 years. And hopefully we can catch a refinance somewhere around this 5% or lower mark and never see our full payment. But if we don't refinance, then years 3 through 30, this is still a 30-year fix. Years 3 through 30, we're at the full 6% at $49.39 a month. The cost of that temporary 2-1 buy down in this example is $12,478, and we're asking the seller to pay that. The cost is $15,262, and we're asking the sellers to pay that temporary 2-1 buy down. Total cash out of pocket $35,000. You could ask the sellers to contribute more, depending on how much competition there is with this duplex. Your down payment let's call it 25,000 would be the minimum you would be allowed to bring in. Okay, so now let's say I want to finance this whole thing as an investment property. Let me show you what that would look like. One of my favorite programs right now for investors is called a debt servicing coverage ratio loan. Super sexy name, DSCR. Instead of qualifying you for the mortgage, we're qualifying the property for the mortgage. Meaning, all I need to qualify is a credit score, my down payment, and an appraisal that shows what the forecasted rents will be for the house I'm buying. If those forecasted rents cover the majority of the payment, all the payment, or more than the payment, then we qualify. I don't need to provide my tax returns, my landlord history, my blood type, my P&Ls. I don't need to provide all that and go through that underwriting process. I just need, it's a commercial loan for real estate. Yeah, it's an awesome program. Now you can't buy this house to live in with that program, but it is designed to make it easy for landlords to buy properties. Interest rate, somewhere around 6.58. It's hard to get a national average on a program like this. The rate does vary a lot depending on your credit score and how much of the payment is covered by the rent. Okay, is it 90%? Is it 95%? Is it 100%? Is it 115%? All those things can, and your down payment can affect that rate pretty dramatically. But I think 6.58 is a good rate to use. Now there's no mortgage insurance because we're putting over 20% down. So our payment at $4,073, let's put that FHA back up there just to compare. So we're saving about $866 a month, but these are two different buyers, your FHA and your DSCR investment. At $4,000 a month, the rents on this duplex should more than cover that payment, I would imagine, but do your own due diligence. Moving right along. I'm going to try something new. We're going to look at one more house quickly, and then I'm going to try something new. I'm thinking about doing a quote that I picked up during the week. I'm thinking about doing a quote at the end of my live streams, and I got a good one. If you are familiar with John Watts, raise your hand. I knew the name, but I discovered him last night when I couldn't sleep, and I went on a YouTube rabbit hole and really got to know a lot about John Watts. All right. I don't typically feature condos on my live stream. I'm not a big fan of condos. The HOAs drive me nuts. So if you remember, just a few minutes ago, I said for every $10,000 in purchase price or loan amount, it's going to affect your payment roughly $60, or $600 for every $100,000. That formula also works in reverse, and it's a great formula to have in mind when you're analyzing consumer debt. So for example, if I'm buying a house and I decide to go lease a brand new Tesla at $600 a month, that's going to remove or equate to $100,000 in borrowing or buying power. HOAs can do that too, but there's good things that HOAs do. So if I have a $600 a month HOA, that's equivalent to $100,000 in borrowing power. But a lot of times it covers the maintenance, covers utilities, sometimes covers insurance. Now, this condo, I kind of like, especially if you're downsizing or maybe you're just relocating to the area, you're a single person with a busy lifestyle and you need to be close to the airport. $439,000 is very affordable in today's market. We're going to 520 Southeast Columbia River Drive, apartment number 212. 2 beds, 2 baths, 1,055 square feet, built in 1996. These are very nice condos, very well-established HOA. To give you an idea of where they're located, everyone from here knows exactly where these are at. You're right next to the old beaches, which is now Oswego Grill and McMinimum's down on the waterfront. It is a beautiful place to live. You got trails, you got I-5 right there. And the airport right here. I mean, it's just a killer location for either someone downsizing, maybe retired, or someone younger that has a busy lifestyle. 2 beds, 2 baths. Okay. This home is listed by Brianna. Brianna says a lot. We're going to skim this down. But I always like reading the first. Picture yourself sipping coffee on a sun-drenched, tree-lined balcony, catching a shimmering sliver of the Columbia River as Vancouver's vibrant energy hums nearby. Nestled in the prestigious village at Columbia Shores, this 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo is your ticket to upscale, low-maintenance living in one of Washington's hottest markets. I will agree 100% with that sentence. Low maintenance living, upscale, in a hot market, and at a good purchase price at $400 and some thousand. I am skimming gas fireplace, custom kitchen, high-end cabinetry, top-tier appliances, timeless finishes, river breezes, golden sunsets. All right, so here's what you get for your HOA, which, by the way, the HOA on this home, wait for it, $826 a month. Oh, we lost our chat. Is our stream still up? Not sure why we lost the chat. I'm not going to try to fix the chat. We're almost done anyways. Yeah, $826. So let's see if Brianna tells us what we get here. All right. The village at Columbia Shores elevates living with a stunning outdoor pool, relaxing hot tub, community room, and a small workout room. Hosting out-of-town guests, 6 on-site guest suites are available for a modest fee. Whoa. 6 on-site guest suites are available for a modest fee. A rare perk, very rare. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Steps from Columbia River's scenic trails. Okay. That's all we get. I would love to know what utilities are covered, if garbage is covered. Does it include insurance? Will I have to get just insurance on my belongings? But yeah, this is a high-end luxury condo. You're going to have an expensive HOA. Okay, beautiful. Let's go back really quick. Just beautiful. I don't know. Maybe I've just been maybe I just had my head in the sand. But this year, the fall colors really, I really notice them. I mean, they're just beautiful this time of year. There's the entrance to the building. Elevators come in. There's our mailboxes. Here's our unit. Okay. Nice flooring, nice kitchen, 1,000 square feet. Beautiful cabinets all the way to the ceiling. Tile granite counters is what that looks like to me. Nice big kitchen for 1,000 square feet. There's our cozy gas fireplace, like the windows. Looks like a door out to a balcony. There's your balcony. There's a park bench. Okay, bedroom number 1, decent size. French doors into the living space. So you could use this as an office. I kind of like it as an office with the French doors into your living space. And then a man door there. Closet makes it a bedroom. Bath, powder room, washer and dryer in a closet. Bedroom number 2 also has a balcony. This must be the primary with your ensuite. Nice walk-in closet. Dual vanity. There's your parking spot. Clubhouse, very nice. This must be one of those guest suites for a modest fee. There's your gym. There's your balcony up there. So you're on the 2nd floor. Swimming pool. Okay. Since the chat's not working, let's get rid of that window. All right, so put together just a very basic 20% down, 30-year fix, purchase price $439,900. Loan amount would be $351,920. Interest rate, national average on conforming 6.28. Payment breakdown. $2,173 is principal and interest. Property taxes $302. Homeowners insurance $50. Brings it to $2,525. And then you add on your HOA of $826 for a total payment of $3,351. Not bad, considering what it would cost to rent a condo on the waterfront. Not bad at all. And keeping in mind that $826 of that is your HOA. Now you can add that 2-1 temporary buy down feature to this too and reduce that interest rate for the first 2 years would be a good way to go. So 3 different homes. That first one, our chat's down. Our first one, that was a crazy house. If anybody goes and looks at that house, let me know. Let me know what you think. Do the bedrooms really not have doors? That's my first question. John Watts was a famous mystic, Zen master. And if you guys can't sleep, just go on YouTube and type in John Watts and it'll put you right to sleep. Here's the quote of the day for today, November 1st. See if I can remember it. I think this is what it is. In order for anger to exist, all it needs is participation. Have a great weekend, everybody.